Hello, it's Sunday, October 1st. The wife and I just got back from a bike ride. That's what I call my church. That's when I talk to God the most. Great weekend. Flatlanders was awesome. I think Matt Murray told me there was 248 cars. I think there was 97 motorcycles. The Brick Top Cruisers, they put on a hell of a car show. They have a party afterwards, and the Jimmy D band was fantastic at Matt Murray's shop, Murray's Customs, downtown Goodland. The Brick Top Riders Motorcycle Club, Goodland, Kansas, put on the motorcycle show. It was great. They served dinner last night, breakfast this morning. Just a lot of good things happening in Goodland. Usually on Sundays I come back and read Max Preps, read stats, scores, highlights, and those kind of things. And we're going to call this the Guts or Glory podcast. So stay tuned.
Chris Yost with head coach of the Cowboys, Jordan Moer. Coach, that's a tough one out there tonight. The big stat that I came up with was just 9 offensive snaps in the second half is all you had, and it's hard to win games when you can't get off the field defensively and you can't stay on the field offensively.
And Jesus did a pretty good job. It's just they're pretty talented and skilled, and some of that was like a junior versus a freshman or a junior versus a sophomore, and we'll continue to improve and get better, but. Yeah, that's the youth's hurting us quite a bit, and then just being too passive. You can't play offense and defense the way we want to play and be passive.
It felt like as if right before the game started, they had the homecoming deal going on. You guys stood on the sideline, waited a little bit, and that kind of sucked the energy out of your guys to start the game a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we had much energy to even get to that point. And so, as we went through our pregame and stuff like that, I said, our gut usually doesn't steer us wrong too often, and it felt like whether it was the car ride, whether it was the 2-hour bus trip or whatever it was, this is a game that we should be getting geared up for, and some of us did, but not the majority, and it showed. So, as we continue to progress, continue to grow as a team, that's something we'll really stress and keep pushing, but also something that's very much outside of our control and in our players' control.
We're visiting with Coach Jordan Moer after the Cowboys lose 41-6 to Norton. I was just going to look back here tonight. Lincoln had just 1 reception. He did have
They didn't show up with energy, huh? I'm all about the Goodland Cowboys, okay? I'm all about the Goodland athletic program in Goodland High School. My grandpa graduated from there in 1950. Okay, all my families went through Goodland High School. I ride for Goodland High School, the Goodland Cowboys. This isn't a bash on the Goodland Cowboys. This is I'm pissed. This has nothing to do with, my son, Chayton Goodwin, number 8. He's that kid that he will play your ass off. He will be coachable. He don't come down. He don't come home and tell dad nothing. He doesn't tell dad nothing but good things. That's just the kind of kid he is. This is all me. This is all me listening, watching, observing. Okay. For starters, Ross Volkmer and Chase Topliff. My family watches and listens to you guys all over the country. I think you guys do a phenomenal job. I think with Chase Topliff in there, he has the strategic, tactical understanding, and so does Ross. But Ross brings in what he does best, and I feel like he's great. I feel like him and Chase, I mean, when you're listening to him, like my family couldn't make it to the game, they're sitting there listening, and they tell me that they love listening to you guys, okay? I don't listen to Ross all the time. I don't know what he says and he doesn't say. I listen to post-game, pre-game, and go back and listen to some of the games. But I think you guys are doing a kick-ass job. But let's talk about this energy thing. Okay. I want to point out I played under state championship coaches. Okay, I was a football player. I was a basketball player. I ran track. That time was a long time ago. But there's one thing I want you to pay attention to, and listen here. I still keep in contact with my coaches to this very day. Okay? Why? Because that is how much they influence me in football, in basketball, in those different athletic programs. Okay? Part of my mental strength and mental toughness to this day, and my coaching on a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, comes from their motivation and inspiration. Okay? I'm going to say that one more time. Motivation and inspiration. These guys were the most fired up guys on the sidelines. Okay? They celebrated with us. We came in, this was our format. This was our pregame format. You typically come in, you're amped up, the whole locker room's going freaking nuts, as it should be. Then we have a quiet period that goes on that you reflect. We call that locking in, okay? So that's typically a quiet period. And then the coaches follow up with a little bit of X's, O's in the scheme we're gonna run it. But then what is followed up is motivation and inspiration. Firing these teenagers up. They're teenagers. They are responsible for motivating themselves to a certain degree, but you got to remember they're limited due to their age and their experience. College players need fired up. Okay? What I remember to this day is the motivation, the pregame speeches, the halftime speeches, the halftime motivations, the halftime rallies. That's what I remember, not the X's and O's and schemes. You can throw all the goddamn X's and O's and schemes at it you want. If that motivation piece is not there, you're not going to win football games. Period. Did you watch the Colorado Buffs against Texas? They were down 20 at half or something like that. Don't quote me on that. How did they come back to lose by just 6? How? Do you think they had a quiet halftime? Do you think they had a quiet pregame? Or was Dion fired the hell up? Your players carry your energy out there. If you're just this quiet cat that has no energy and is even kill, that's what you're going to get with your players. Okay? So motivation and inspiration is the other half of the game. Building that warrior mindset, building that mentality, that no give up mentality. That's what builds a winning culture, not all X's and O's. So when we talk about low energy, it is the responsibility of the leader. Everything flows down from there. To identify that lack of energy, typically you should see it in practice, right? Everything I'm talking about begins in practice. It begins in preparation. You'll see these signs of low energy. That is the leader's responsibility to lift that and fire that person up. It is a great coach will take a kid that is full of talent, and our team is full of talent. Look at the talent on our team. Just look at it. Young, yes, but look at the talent. Why are we not winning more football games? Look at the talent we have. You got a D1 player out there. A D1 player. Use that cat wherever you can, and let him use that D1 skill. Okay? Why are we not doing that? You got guys like number 28, Slosher. He's a beast. Let's put him in there. Let's try him out. okay? But I'm going to focus on motivation here and energy levels. That can be changed. That can be changed. When the Buffs came back after 20 down at halftime, you think halftime was quiet? You think halftime in the locker room was quiet? Or was it about a motivation and inspiration and motivating those players? And those players came out of there like fire. Yeah, they lost, but they didn't lose in this pathetic way. They did lose, but they lost in a way that they gave everything they had out there, and look how they came back. You think they would have came back like that if there was no motivation? There was no rally in the locker room. There was no rally pregame firing these kids. They're freaking teenagers. They need fired up. Not all of them are capable of self-motivation, and you have to identify that on each player. Okay, so when I listen to this, it's all the kids? No, I'm not that dude. I'm not this guy that's gonna blow up the coaches and be that parent and my kid can't do wrong, can't do any of this. I'm not that dude. But I am truthful when I hear no accountability. No accountability. When you listen to Dion or these other college coaches, we failed. We failed. Okay? We got outcoached. We failed. I'm going to leave it right there. If we want to win football games, let's act like we want to win football games from the top down. Okay? You got to have the right, I'm standing right here in front of my toolboxes. Take the tools that you have and use them appropriately. Find the best tool for the job, okay? But it all trickles down from the top down, okay? Yeah, sometimes you have kids show up, they don't want to frickin' play. I get it. Kids can be little assholes, okay? I get it, I'm a parent. But I'll tell you what, we got some kids out there that play their freaking ass off. Play their ass off. You know, look at number 55, plays his ass off. I don't even want to name numbers and names because there's so many of them out there that go out there and want to play. They're passionate. You know what? Those kids need to be told they're doing a great job. They need to be motivated to keep wanting to play. Okay? The average kid needs to be inspired to play the best he can. It cannot all be about X's and O's and schemes. Okay? Obviously that's not working for us. The motivation piece needs to have some emphasis. The mental coaching. That's what wins games. When I talk about my coaches from the past, I do not remember the X's and O's. I remember how they influenced me, how they motivated me, and I deal with challenges today, tough times, through that mental tenacity. If I wouldn't have learned that, we wouldn't have won a state championship. Okay? If I wouldn't have learned that, I wouldn't be dealing with these situations and overcoming. Okay? So let's not lose sight of accountability, and let's not lose sight of the importance of the mental game. Let's not lose sight of the rally. Okay? Let's get some paper out there and have a run in for our players like these other teams are doing. Get them fired up. Why don't we do this? And if this video offends somebody out there, tough, deal with it. I'm just being real. I'm just saying something everybody else wants to say. Okay? This has nothing to do with anything else other than the truth. Let's win some football games. Let's turn this program around. Okay? I hope this video is firing you up. That is my rant for the day. I'm going to call this the No Guts, No Glory podcast. I'm sorry, I'm not going to use one of those other terms. This is the No Guts, No Glory podcast. Cowboys, let's get out there next week and let's kick some ass.